Hey, how y'all doing, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, BP Tips. I am your host, Brother Pooh, and today we're actually going to be continuing the Game Master series and with a game called Word Mafia. So before we get started, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick update. I'm actually going to be trying to talk a little bit more quieter. So if you guys kind of see a difference in my tone of voice and my style of how I speak during these videos, it's actually because I'm attempting to talk quieter so I can save my voice throughout the week, throughout the day, or throughout this video as I start to record. I've been having a little bit of an issue where I've been straining my voice, and so I kind of want to do a little bit better at that. And I believe if I talk kind of in a softer voice, maybe it'll be a bit more ASMR, maybe I'll do an ASMR video or something like that in the future. But anyways, with that being said, let's get right down into it. Okay, so in my last video, I think I learned that it might have been a little bit too long. So I'm gonna try to condense this game a little bit better. The good thing about this game is it's actually a lot quicker, and you might not even need as many. You won't even need as many of the materials at all in this next part. So starting with the summary, what you're going to do is you're going to gather about 10 people, let's say. But in this specific game, you actually don't need to have an even amount of people. You can have odd number amount of people too. So if you had 11, 12, 13, 14, doesn't really matter. You can just go ahead and play. I would say you should still at least have about 5 people to make sure that the game is fun. But you should also note that there will always be one narrator that will be a part of the game facilitating it, but they won't actually be playing the game or be a part of that in that sense. So keep that in mind. So if you have 5 people, only 4 of them are going to be sitting in a circle playing and not knowing what's going on, whereas the 5th person is actually going to be facilitating and overseeing the entire gameplay. So to continue, you're going to gather, let's say, around 10 people again, just for easy sake, right? Easy examples. You're going to sit around in a big circle. And within that circle, you're going to have one narrator that's going to be sitting behind or inside or just around the circle. And there, all you need is this one item. And here's my signature move that I feel like a lot of you audience really liked, which is the snap of my fingers, right, guys? So let's go ahead and do that first item and one and only item that you actually need. Ready? Go. And that's right, it's actually just your phone again, right? So there's a little bit of self-promotion, BP tips. So with your phone, it's actually pretty simple. That narrator is basically going to use that phone, and you're just going to use this. What I usually do is I like to throw up, let's just say really quick, Snapchat, right? And basically what you're going to do is take a picture of your phone like that, so it's black. You can't really tell. I think I did a bad thing right there, but you can generally tell. And from here, you're just going to write something. Usually I like to do something very, very bright. Let's just call it yellow, okay? So if I were to say something like that, sorry about my light right there, but if you wanted to use something like this called BP tips, right? This way, you don't really have to have paper, and the bright color of that lettering or the bright color that you write with will actually help identify people when they, because people have a hard time reading. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to sit around in that circle, right? So the narrator is actually going to say, everyone go to sleep. When everyone goes to sleep, you're going to write whatever word that comes to your mind. Try to be, as you play more often, try to think of more clever or easier words based off your environment. But let's just say it's going to be chicken, for example. I know I wrote BP tips as my example, but let's go back to the original one, which is chicken. I like food. Maybe I'll do a mukbang channel or games or mukbang series one day, but we'll see what happens. So you're going to write chicken on your phone, and then you're going to say to the person to your left, let's just call him person A. Person A, wake up. When they wake up, make sure you take your phone and you show them that phone so that they can clearly read it. Give them a second, and then when they're done, you say go back to sleep. And then when they go back to sleep, you go to person B and say, person B, raise your head. Obviously you would say their names. It's okay. You don't have to say person A, B, but say their names. I'm just giving examples of person A and B because to illustrate it better in our heads. Person B, raise your head. They would read the word, they go back to sleep, and then keep going. So let's say this time around, person C is someone that you want to be Mafia. And remember, the narrator chooses who the Mafia is going to be. The person that's going to not know what the word is. You say person C, raise your head, but you don't show them your phone. What I usually like to do is I like to keep my phone to my chest, and that way they know that I'm not going to show them. So a lot of time they're going to be like, oh no, and be like, oh, and then they go back to sleep. So this person C goes back to sleep. Generally, with 10 people, I choose 2 people that won't know the words, and we call them 2 mafias. So every 5 people makes it 1 mafia. So, anyways, going around, you go person D, person E, etc., and then you get another you choose another mafia, and then you go around till it goes all the way around the circle till the last person says it, and then everyone goes back to sleep. You turn off your phone. Make sure you turn off your phone. You don't want to leave that on, and then you say, "Everyone, wake up." So at this point, the narrator then has to choose who's going to be going first. Let's just say person A is going to go first. The narrator chooses person A to go first. That person needs to then describe the word that they saw without actually saying the word. So if the word was chicken, he would need to do something very clever, which is feathers. Feathers is a way that kind of correlates with chicken because they know it's like an animal or etc. You can even say something like fried. You can say other words like peck or flight or fly, even though they don't really fly, but you can become more creative to really describe what you saw by saying a word that correlates with it. The best thing to do here is to try to think of a creative word so it doesn't really give it away to the people that don't know the word, but it makes total sense to the people that did see the word. So person B would then say not the same word as feathers or anything like that, but he would say something that he or she would say something different. Maybe they would say something like thighs, because chicken thighs, chicken breast, chicken feet. You never know, but that's thigh is a pretty good one because it's a very common meat or part of the chicken that a lot of people might consume. So at this point, person C, now we all know that person C is going to be the mafia. So if person C is actually trying to figure out based off the words that the previous people said, illustrating what it could be. So at this point, they would generally have to guess, and whatever you choose, if you're the mafia, just run with it, play with it, commit to it, own your word. Even if you say water, you just be like, just try to think about it. Try to make some sort of reasons of try to get someone on your side. And I know it's very difficult, but the more you play, you're actually going to realize that it's a little bit easier than you might think to get people on your side. But generally, I know it's generally a lot harder. A lot of people don't like playing Mafia because generally people are good, and I believe, maybe not good, but generally people don't like to lie in a game or just it feels uncomfortable being on the spot. But you'll find some people that are really good at it, and if you find those people, they're going to make for a very interesting game. So then it keeps going, and it goes person D, E, and they all know it. And then it goes to the other Mafia, and hopefully at this point, this Mafia will now have known the words that came through, and they might have a better idea. So they might actually be able to say another better correlating word than maybe the first Mafia. And then it keeps going. And then at this point, well, let's say it goes to the very end of the round. At that point, everyone needs to kind of guess who the Mafia is. And the way that this works is just goes on like a free-for-all period. If I believe person C is Mafia, but I'm not sure, I would ask person C to say another word to kind of prove that they aren't Mafia. This is kind of a bit difficult because the more you do that, the more that the Mafias are going to know what word it is because they're going to get more hints. So generally go with your gut feeling if you want a quick round, but if you really want to make sure, choose the specific people that you believe are Mafia and vote them out. Now, how to vote them out is simple. If everyone agrees, you get one person that accuses. Person A accuses person C. Person B would like to agree with that vote, and they would actually also vote for person C to be killed or kicked off or whatever it is off the island. And then once they make their arguments, and once person C makes their defense, if everyone still agrees, they get a vote. As long as it is majority vote, person C is then taken off, and you can decide whether or not to hold off until they find the second Mafia, or you can just tell them right away whether or not it was a civilian or not. Because if it's automatically civilian, Mafias win. If it's a Mafia, then they keep moving forward. So it's up to you. You can just say, choose both just to kind of prolong the game, or have them decide, you know what, let's just tell them now. So with that being said, the next portion is actually going to be the ending phase. So let's say the two Mafias were found out. They were kicked off or killed. Once the narrator reveals that they were the Mafia, they actually go into a time where they have a Hail Mary chance to win the game. So remember how I told you that you have to say a word that correlates with the word that was shown, but don't make it super obvious? Well, that's because If the mafias at the end of the game, after they're found out, can guess the word that was shown on the phone, then they automatically win. So let's say person C and the other mafia gets killed, but person C knew by the end of the game that the word was chicken. He or she could just say, was the word chicken? Final answer. And if the narrator says yes, that was the word, then the civilians lose and mafias win. This is kind of like a Hail Mary because it is still very hard to guess the word, especially that early on. So it gives people a chance to really hear the word. So that's why it's even a much more of a reason to be careful not to give so many words or try to deduce or find more hints by giving away more hints by saying, hey, person C, I don't know if you're the mafia, so say another word. If they say another word, or and they weren't the mafia, then they're just going to give more words that correlate with the word that was shown. I know that was really confusing, so what I decided to do is I'm going to sum it up for you guys again really quick. Let's start. All right, guys, so here's a summary, right? First off, you're going to need a phone. On that phone, you're going to use Snapchat to take a picture so that the screen is blank, and use a very vibrant color and write the words on your phone that you're going to show your teammates. You're going to sit in a circle. Let's say there's 10 people. You're going to start to the person on your left. Let's call him person A. Show them the phone, which is which is the word that you show on your phone, which is, let's just say, chicken. Person A, show them the phone. Person B, show them the phone. They go back to sleep. Person C is mafia. Tell them to wake up. Don't show the phone. And then go so forth. Person D, E. Remember, every group of 5, there's going to be at least one mafia. So since we have 10 people in this game, we're going to have 2 mafias. So you're going to have to choose another mafia somewhere in that, and when it started during this wake up and go to sleep phase. So next, it goes all the way around. Everyone wakes up, and then you start off by choosing the specific person that you want to go first. Let's say person A can go first, but remember, you don't have to choose person A. So person A will start, they'll say the word, they will go all the way around. Afterwards, that next step is going to be free-for-all period, and after that, everyone's just going to be talking and basically deducing who's going to be in mafia. If everyone paid attention, they should be able to deduce right away when they have specific things one person is going to accuse. That person, someone else will then also have to jump in and say, I agree with, and they also want to go in. Once they make their accusations and the reasoning behind why this specific person is the mafia with their word choice or etc., the person that is accused will then also have a defense period. Once that is done, everyone will then vote. If the whole group is majority votes saying to kick him off or kill him, then that person dies. Hopefully that person was a mafia and you have chosen the right person. Or if it's maybe not majority vote, it keeps going and talking. So as a narrator, that's all you need to do. And there is no other period. You just kind of facilitate after that. That's a summary of all the rounds. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for stopping by again to my channel. I hope everything was a bit more condensed and more entertaining. And I hope that you guys actually get to use this the next time you guys are able to go out. With that being said, thanks for being part of the BP fam. Have a good one.
Okay.
Oregon.
Olympia.
Huh?
Oh my.
Don't worry about it.
Forget about it.
I wonder if you just like zoomed out Jay straight while she's thinking.
Play.
Huh?
Play.
Mafia alert.
That's brazy.
Play. I said what I said. I said what I said.
Mafia alert. Put him in jail.
It's a big you know, right?
Mafia alert, huh? Jacob and Sunra, huh?
Wait, what?
Jacob and Sunra, huh?
Wait, no, he's Mafia.
Jacob
I was about to say, bro. No way.
Jacob and Sunra, saying something.
That was like a long time ago.
Travel.
What the heck? Amen.
What was your word?
Mine was Oregon.
Play.
I think it's these two.
Yeah,
What's
it's
your
definitely
word?
Play. Play.
Straight to the
Hold on, what
gulag.
did someone say?
Travel.
I think I kind of understand why.
Yeah, you did right.
No.
No, kind of do. I kind of do understand.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't. Whatever you think about. See, she doesn't even. Wait, Gina might think you don't understand my word.
Word Mafia.
What were you thinking? Wait, no, not yet.
You're narrator. Keep it.
She already
I think it's Gina.
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't remember what any of you said. Alright, so
No, he's good. He's good.
Oh, okay. I think it's something else. Never mind.
Where was liver? So you have to travel for liver transplants. I totally saw it.
No, I thought when you travel, you get
liver
wasted.
means also like kind of like trying to live.
That's why he said closer.
I didn't get.
Gina, what did you think it was?
I had no idea.
I
I just said play. I said.
Someone just said chicken pig. I'm like.
What did you say?